contractor that was the low bidder. After looking at their bid, decided that they had left out insulation involved with that project, and they asked for us to release them from their bid, which we felt like was the best thing to do. You don't want to have somebody there that feels like they're already upside down $60,000. It's not good for them, not good for us. So we released them from the bid and we rebid the project. And as you can see on, it's the very last column, full column at the bottom of the bid tab, was that we had 4 bidders rebid that project, and lo and behold, the low bidder was Bennett's Carpets, and in actuality, it came in about $6,000 less than the bid that we received the first time, which they said is very rare. Kenny Davis there with Codell said that's a very rare situation, but after they again looked at their bid, and they did some work up front this time to make sure that everybody knew what they were bidding on, so we wouldn't have this situation again. Bennett's Carpets has said that yes, that is a good bid. They feel like that is representative of the work that they will be doing. So you have a recommendation from Codell Construction that we hire Bennett's Carpets as the drywall contractor for the Area Technology Center. And that's my recommendation as well.
Definitely think you guys know what they're doing, so by recommending them, so I'll make a motion.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
I think they're a very good contractor. They're presently working on a couple of different projects that they are working on currently, so they're a good group. So I feel like that we have a good list of contractors. There's 14 different subcontractors on this project, and I feel like that they all are of high quality, and I think we'll be very pleased with the work that we'll have.
I think next we have the approval of a revised BG1.
Excuse me. Well, with the with of course the change in the drywall bid being lower, it lowered the BG1. So this is now the correct BG1 basically at this point in time. So we need to go ahead and get an approval on this. As you can see, the total project cost is $14,558,399.45. If you look on the right-hand side, the funds available, all of the cash has been removed from this project. It will be totally bonded. You want to hang on to that capital outlay cash if at all is possible. It's a little bit easier to spend that than it is the bonding money. So we have corrected that on this project. So the only difference between this BG1 and the one you approved last time is about it's $6,000 less, give or take a couple dollars. Yes. So my recommendation is to approve that.
Do you have a second? Any discussion? All in favor? All right. I think next you added the land purchase update.
Yeah, and just give you all an update, and you all been involved in some email chains today. I didn't know if you got to see them or not, but we received our final approval letter from KDE. I believe it was yesterday or early this morning, and at 12 o'clock today, or right about that time, we did file the paperwork for the deed with the clerk's office. So you are now the proud owner of 140 acres across from Estill County High School, where the bus garage will be built. So that means that we can now move forward with that project. And the only thing that we're missing with KDE is that we do have to send them a copy of the title insurance certificate, which will follow in the next couple days. And so everything is complete on that project. And also, we also filed a deed today for the piece of property directly in front of Estill County High School along Engineer Road that belonged to the county, that we needed in order to do a parking lot improvement there in front of the high school. It will add about 40 parking spaces along Engineer Road in front of the school. So we filed that deed as well today. So just that's for your information only. You didn't have to do anything, but I did want it part of the record today that was complete.
Okay, moving along, we next have consent items.
Really, nothing that we want to pull out. Item C, I will just highlight a couple of them as our first CATS offer of the year. We'll receive 3 CATS offers, which of course are your technology assistance from the state. And during the year, we'll match those. By the time we match the 3 offers, it'll be close to $100,000 of technology spending. Basically, for every dollar we spend, we're given $1, which is a pretty good deal in terms of that. And we need to honor that offer and keep our network and everything up to date. Buying some new cafeteria tables, I believe those are at South Irvin.
Middle school.
I'm sorry, is it middle school? Did we already buy them at South? Yes. Yes, okay. That goes to show how old I am, I forgot. You have the second reading of the holiday and vacation policy we approved last time. I've also included we discussed this, I've discussed this with you all individually. We also discussed this during previous meetings, and I really feel like that due to the mental health needs of our kids that we need to look at hiring a licensed clinical counselor. You have a job description there, and I appreciate Miss Kathy Flynn and Miss Dina Caldwell for working on that job description. And if you all approve that job description, then we will post a job and we will look to see if we can fill that. We're not just going to fill it with anybody. We'll make sure that we get a quality person. There are some revisions on the salary schedule. These have happened over the last few meetings. If you remember, we talked about the lunchroom assistant that we talked about, which is an $850 per year position that we discussed. We also talked about the clay target shooting coach that we needed to add a stipend for. You've got that information in there. And then finally, in working with Sheriff Chris Flynn, we have a school resource officer contract in there, and we just feel like at this time, and the sheriff has really stepped up to the plate here and wants to get involved with our school system more. He doesn't have anything against our SLEO program, but he says that he can work with us to provide an SRO, and I think with some of the other stuff that he's doing at West Urban and South Urban as well, the Sheriff's Department will really be working with 4 of our 5 schools. And of course, Irvin PD has consistently helped us at Estill Springs because it's within the city limits. So it puts us back to where we are covered at each of our schools. They're not full-time at any one school. The SRO will spend a lot of time at the high school, but they'll spend some time at the middle school. But it gives us pretty good coverage, and I'm very appreciative of Chris for working with us on this. So you have that contract there in front of you, and those are the agenda items, consent items, and my recommendation is to approve those consent items.
Do we have a motion? Thank you. Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay.
And we'll try to post those jobs tomorrow and move forward with filling them.
Okay, next, do we have any public comments? They all left, right? Okay, next is the superintendent's report and board member forum.
Really quick, you have notification personnel actions like every month. You don't have my activity report. I will bring you an activity report next time reflective of the last 2 months. I've worked on several different things today and did not get that done, in all honesty, and basically forgot it until just a few minutes ago, and it was too late. But I will bring that to you next time. You have a fundraiser report. Energy report I thought was very positive. If you look at what we're doing with energy, as a matter of fact, Estill Springs, I was always afraid. Estill Springs seemed to always had a good record in terms of energy usage, but we also knew that we had a system that was 30 years old that was failing. And back before, when we approved West Irvin, the middle school and the high school as Energy Star schools, We made the decision not to approve Estill Springs because of the fact that we knew it was in such bad shape. But now after the renovation, it qualifies, West Irvin still qualifies as an Energy Star school. So we're in the process of applying for Energy Star certification again for both of those schools. Jeremy's been working on that with our architect and also with our engineer on those projects. So our current engineer, they weren't the architect or the engineer on the West Irvin project, but our current engineer on our project. So that should happen here within the next couple of months, and we'll have a presentation for those two Energy Star schools. But if you look at that report, what's exciting about that is the amount of money that we're saving in our school district with in terms of energy. And I tell you, the thing that I like to look at is that this past month we saved $3,800 over last year's bill, and for the year we're at $27,000. That's money that we can use to provide a better education for our kids. So that's good news. Don't forget the KSBA Winter Symposium. I know you all, that usually starts on a Friday on the 21st and runs through Sunday on the 23rd. I know that we need to start making plans now, work schedules and different things so that you'll be able to go. And usually if you work with Felicia on that, and she'll help you, and we'll plan out, and you can usually complete all your hours during that time, and you don't have to worry about going back in terms of receiving board training unless there's just something that you want to go to. And finally, I didn't get this in the packets to begin with, but I do want you all to consider over the next few months, we'll talk about it again. Felicia and I are going to sit down and go through. I actually used the KSBA system as part of my work with the Kentucky High School Athletic Association. We use that system. It's totally online, so instead of you all having to come into the board office and pick up a packet and us run off 50, 100 pages of paper for you all to go through, we can actually build the agenda in this system, and you can just add one attachment and you can go to it and you can see the attachments. The public can also log in and see that stuff. If there's something we want to make private, if there's something in there that's private, it can be made private that only the board members can see, but you load the documents, everything's there. Felicia doesn't have to make 20 packets. I want her to feel comfortable with it. I see what she has to do to struggle to make those packets and to have to run off all that paperwork and everything like that, and I think it will save her some time, but we're going to sit down here in the next few days. Insurance is about to wrap up. And it's been a struggle for some of us to get the things done that we need to do, but I think it will be able to give her back some time as well once she feels comfortable with it. Based on calculations that I've looked at, it's $2,500 for the first year, but we'll spend $2,500 if you just take her salary and the amount of time it takes her to get ready for a board meeting, plus the packet. If you were charging the going rate at 10 cents a copy, it doesn't take long to figure out that 20 packets at 100 pages is about, it's a couple $1,000s, I mean, it doesn't take long for it to add up. I mean, over a year's time, it's about $200 a meeting just for the board packet. So that's $1,200 right there, not including her time. So I just want you all to know we're going to look into it, and may very well come back to you if once we feel comfortable. We may try to shoot for a March or April meeting, and they'll come down and they'll train you all. We can start maybe like at 4 o'clock or maybe 5 o'clock and start and have a little bit of a training, and then they'll lead us through the first one and sort of walk us through it and make sure everybody feels comfortable with it. Like I said, I use it. I've never loaded it, but if it's one of those things that Felicia would load the documents, she loads it one time. She keeps one copy for a hard copy in the office, and there's no paper. It's paperless. It's easy. I can help load documents. I don't have to send her a document to load. I can go in there and I can load a document. We won't give everybody the ability to load documents, but But
They trust you loading documents.
I load documents all the time. I don't know why they wouldn't trust me, but it can be very loaded, by the way. But no, I tell you what, a lot of the stuff we do with the superintendent mentoring program and the superintendent onboarding program that I had to participate in with KSA, I had to upload documents all the time. So it's one of those things, it's not hard to do. It's matter of fact, once it's set up, we've already got the Chromebooks that you can use to do it. It's not going to cost anything for computers or anything along that line. So you all can access everything, and instead of me having to email you something at the last minute, we can upload it and you've got direct access. So we'll still try to get the board agendas out by Friday before the meeting. But we mail a packet to our board attorney. What does that usually cost us every? $6. So it's $6, you know, to our board attorney. Every time we have a meeting, we'll have at least 12, but usually we have about 20. I mean, that's $120 worth of postage you'll save because all he has to do is go in. He's got to log in. He logs in. He can see everything that's there. So I may very well bring it back to you, but that is the superintendent's report. And I don't know if any of the board members have anything.
Do you two have anything?
I do not.
No? I make a motion that we go into closed session. All in favor?
And so you all will know, it will be a short closed session. There'll be no action within the closed session. And gives everybody time maybe to get out to Excite Night if they want to go.
See ya.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you for being here. They did great.
South Urban, you're on the block next month.
They did good. That looked fun.
Yes, they've had a ball, and we've talked for the last couple of weeks about saving the tigers. We're excited that Carhartt's coming over to help us judge them.
You make sure that tiger's got a muzzle on it.
Yes. Oh, we want no accidents.
Tyler, that's right.
Jeremy, you ready to close this out? That's okay. I don't personally see that as a conflict of interest. I mean, in terms of you being a part of that. You know, you're not conducting any type of school business or anything. It's just a fun project. You all, even at times, the board at times has chosen winners of scholarships, everything else.